explain simply what is Flavescence Dorée?
The Flavescence Dorée it's a new illness I mean new, not really new. It's a illness coming from the U.S. and from native the native vines in the U.S. We started in Europe, I think, during the 60s or 70s, and now the bugs is spreading away. And one of the thing is, it's a very tricky thing because you have a plasma, which is the disease of the vines, which is inside the plants in the sap, and you don't see it. And the result of that is the leaves are getting yellow, and the branch is losing the structure and falling apart and dies. And the vine dies in 1 or 2, 3 years, so it's quite very fast. And then we have the cicadelle, which is small bugs, which is lives on the plant. It doesn't affect the vines. It's not a problem for the vines, but that insect lives by drinking the sap of the vines. So actually goes there and actually goes to another plant. So if you have that phytoplasma into the plant that's transported by that small bugs, the problem is there is thousands and thousands and thousands of those bugs in a vineyard, which nobody care about it because it's kind of lives with the vines and it's absolutely normal and fine. The result is when you have one plant, you spray the year after to 20 plants will spread to 200 plants or 2,000 plants, and it's a plague, and it's very fast. So you lose the vineyards, and so you need to clear up the vines. And one of the problems now we have with that new illness is we have no way to control the phytoplasma. There is no treatment, even chemical, organic, biodynamic. It's a big question mark. The only way we find is to control the bugs, to spread it out, and then to also to cut the plants, because what happened it's in August when you have if the phytoplasma is in the plant, you have the yellow leaves. So it's a sign. So then we pick up the leaves, we do analysis and find out that if it is that or something else, because you can also have disease. So that's the two things that can be done to treat and to control the flavescence. And also the flavescence can come and be transported by the new plants. So when you buy your plant, for example, in Burgundy, the plant can come from all over France. So it can come from a country, land where you have the phytoplasm. So for years and years and years, we had no idea about that. So we kind of spread out by buying some plants to friends or to colleagues or whatever, and we spread it out, the phytoplasma, which now is kind of not everywhere in France, but it's kind of growing. It's in Switzerland, it's in Burgundy, just recently it's in south of France, southwest, Bordeaux, and it's a big problem because, I mean, it's like the phylloxera. If you don't do anything, you lose everything. The result of that is there is by law you have to treat by the insecticide. The problem is we are spraying insecticide everywhere, killing everything. Whatever is the insect, there is no selecting insecticide today. So it's a big problem because you are killing the baddies and the goodies, and the goodies are very important too. And so in Burgundy, we created with some of the top domain who what I call a collective. So it's kind of a group of a small association to actually understand more about the Flavescence dorée and to see what we could do to actually reduce the use of pesticide, of insecticide in the land. And first of all, we realized that in August, when you have the first sign of the illness, the one thing we have to do is to go through whole vineyards, row by row. That means like 20 or 25 or 30 people, and you have to do that and to check all the plants. And when you have those yellow leaves, then to do analysis, so actually see where is the actual illness. When you have that, you cut the plants. In France we call that prophylaxis, and that is the most efficient way to get rid, to control the illness, because that doesn't spread out. And so that has to be done every year. By doing that, you actually see if you have insecticide or herbicide, and then we have created maps and computing system, and when we actually know exactly where is the flavescence dorée, and from that you can decide that you can only treat 500 meters around the flavescence where is the illness to avoid the spraying of the bugs, and that is like that's really efficient if everybody does the job. And that is the problem. It's today, because we are spraying insecticide by law, people who are using chemicals or even organic say, all right, I'm spraying insecticide, so I don't need to walk into my land because it's costing money. It's workers and it's people and that. So they don't, if we just spray that, it doesn't stop the illness. It's just, we'll have more problem and more problem and more problem, because we're starting seeing that if you kill the bugs, you will have some small red, the red spider, which is a big problem. And that kind of classic things, you can't kill one bugs in the chain, it always has problems behind it. And so people are hiding behind the insecticide. And that's what we are fighting at the moment. It's to work with the administration. The first start of the administration were kind of very violent, saying, well, we don't listen to what the winemakers have to say, we spray. And we sprayed and everybody had to spray. And we had a case of Emmanuel, of a friend of mine, which in Côte de Broux said no to that. And they went to court and he won the case, but in the same time, they were 100 kilometers from where the flavescence was. And I kind of agree with him, because he didn't have to do it. The thing is, if he was in my case, which was 500 meters from the flavescence, he would have done the same thing than me, which is spraying. And he always been clear on that. He didn't refuse insecticide, he refused to put insecticide where there is no illness. And that is, there was a massive mess because of the understanding, and it's, we say we are only responsible for what we say, for not what you understand. And that was really the case in Burgundy. And now everybody, but the fact of that case, because it was kind of spread all over the world in terms of news and all of that, people realized that actually we need to find another way. So now, after 3 years, we work with the administration extremely well. And so all the winemakers groups, village by village, and we are really working for to have the prophylaxis done properly, and then to reduce the insecticide. And in 2 years, we, I think, reduced by, I would say, 60 or 70% the use of insecticide. It's not enough, but it's a very, very good start, and that's the only way we can work.
Is there a translation to this?
It's actually, we Googled it before we came over, and it's just flavescence dorée. It's the same term is used.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yellowing, and then flavescence is the weakness.
Yeah.
Where would you see that in the States?